Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow coming on right after the new time for the Ramsey Show. Starts at 9 a.m. Excuse me, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and it is over at 10:27 Eastern time, and so that's when from Columbus, OH, and so that's when I'll be starting. Probably for at least a couple of days. What up, Sid? Sid gave me the IO. Thank you so very much. And so what I'm going to do is go live right after the Ramsey Show this week. Probably at least this whole week. Always subject to change, of course, just like the Ramsey Show can change theirs. I can change mine anytime I want. And so I'm going to do it right after the Ramsey Show, and they are still doing just 2 radio hours. And so that only takes an hour 27 minutes on YouTube. So that's how long they last on there. And then I come on and do an hour following them. Now, what I'm also going to do this week, this whole week, unless I change my mind, of course, is go live at 4 as well and do like a bonus after show. And that may end up being a better time slot for me. We'll see. We'll see on that. So maybe do both of them all week, 10:27 a.m. Eastern, and of course 4 p.m. Eastern. Now that that time slot is not being taken up by the Ramsey Show. Alrighty. So hopefully this will work for them, and they get the advice in front of more eyes. I am Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, you should scroll past the Oak Island playlist, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show. Today is number 535 in that playlist, and Answering Your Financial Questions playlist has 138, and there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist, and that includes the newest one, When You're on Baby Step 2, No Spending Money to Seem Cool, bum, bum. When You're on Baby Step 2. All right, shout out to Hootie and the Blowfish for that one. As far as the Ramsey Show, the app, this is the website, but the app still says exactly the same thing. So I'm wondering if it will still be just a 2-hour delay on the app. And maybe that's what they're wanting more than YouTube watches throughout the day by debuting the show early during the day, and then hoping they get all day results from it on YouTube. But they may just want it to be exclusively on the app at 4 p.m. That's still delayed because the radio show is still at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so we'll see if the other this doesn't change. So I can only believe that that's the case still, unless they forgot to change it. Alyssa Hill, is there a reason you were coming after me? I was just telling you the truth. I wish they would speak more with the younger generation, not people who already own a house. They do. The advice is for everybody. It's not age-based. It's not money-based either. Those same principles apply to everybody. If you don't make enough money to live in an area, you have to either make more money or move. There is no magic solution, just like I told you in the Ramsey Show chat. Any other questions? And they talk to people who do not own houses. They talk to renters all the time. Stop thinking you're being discriminated against. Yeah, it did come here, Trey. Imagine that. That will happen. So let's see, where were we at? Oh, market report. And we don't know what it'll close at, because normally when we do the after show, the market was closed for the day, but it is just getting started, so anything can happen throughout the day. Oh, Alyssa knows that already. Okay, great. What's the problem then? What's your problem? Um, see, Europe mostly up. Well, Asia mostly up as well, and futures down. And of course, you don't really need to look at the futures. You can just look at the current day, which is live as we speak. Who do we have? Palantir today on Revenge of the 5th, Revenge of the 6th, AMD. May 7th, Uber, an app loving. I don't know what that is. I think that is an app maker, and I think they make a bunch of different ones. Coinbase on the 8th, and the Walmart on the 15th. So hopefully good news from all of those people, and then we'll see a better market. Let's answer some questions. Somebody added me on the gram. Oh yeah, I called you. Yeah, well, I didn't know what you wanted. I didn't know what your problem was. If you know that already, then why are you complaining about it? Well, now you know. You got it? I am a great financial coach. I tell you what you need to hear so you're not dumb thinking that there is going to be some magic solution out there. It's the same advice that they would give. You cannot just stay in the same area and make the same money and expect something should change. It's not going to work like that. So I'm a fabulous financial coach. You are a bad financial person, apparently. Yeah, or would intentionally put themselves in a debt cycle by living in an area they can't afford. That's right, Trey. Trey, know what up. Oh, let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, should I keep my SUV? And as I said the other day, when was that? On Friday. Basically, when they ask, when they even are bringing it up as a possibility, that means they probably do need to sell it. I bought an SUV in May 2023. Please forgive me if I don't include everything. Please let me know what I'm missing or if I might have made a mistake. Yeah, if you financed it, you did. Buy cars in cash. This is all new to me. Okay. So, might have done that before you ever heard the name Dave Ramsey. It's possible. 2023 Toyota Tucson, price $30,000. Approximately income 121K after taxes, approximately. Oh, well, you make too much money. We can't talk to you because you make too much money. You shouldn't have any problems doing everything. So no, that's not true at all. Some people think that is, though, because some people will just take his 120K and apply it to their little situation, to their expenses and their debt and their cost of living, whereas this person's might be a lot more, and so could have other problems. Oh, you know all this. Okay, then why are you whining on there that, oh, they should talk to other people? They talk to the people that call in, is who they talk to, and they talk to younger people all the time. So what else can we do for you? I don't know. I appreciate you coming on here and putting money in my pocket. That's so nice. Where are we at? And if you don't like what Dave's doing over there, you think you gotta correct what they're doing over there, you being in their chat makes them money as well. So I hope you think that's a smart thing to do. Let's see, 121K after taxes, approximately, give or take. My husband does side things too. Amount still owed, $17,139. APR, I don't care about the APR. 37 payments left. Probably, well, let's see, what is the problem here? 487 a month for the payment. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, we round up to 500. 17,594 Kelly Blue Book offer. Yeah, if that's a dealer, sell it to a private sale, and then you can get out of it without losing any money. So, and that would be the best thing to happen. My husband had a 2017 Kia Forte that is paid off. It would be super hard to just have one car, but it might be able to happen. Yeah, so if it might be able to happen, that probably means you can make it happen, so you should do that. But it depends on what the rest of your financial situation is. I didn't realize it's more to it. Let's see if they give the rest of the, because we'd need the rest of the financial numbers, like what they're paying in rent or mortgage payment. We plan to keep this SUV until it dies if we keep it. Well, of course, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't change anything. That's not justification for anything. Justification station. A lot of that going around. I do like having an SUV rather than, okay, and you like doing something. Do you like being in that much debt? So you just got to choose. It's priorities. Like we have to get tables and chairs for my son's birthday party this weekend, and it's nice to not have to have a friend help. Yeah, or you could rent a truck for one day if you needed it. That doesn't mean you have to have this SUV to do that. I tried to go to the dealership a few months ago to see if they can trade it in for something older used, and that's not how you do it. You're not going to make money at the dealership. They are going to make money at the dealership. Buy and sell, private sale. They said I couldn't go too old because of the loan. I'm not really sure why, because they want to make more money from you. So, or the loan that they can get for you. So maybe you don't use them for the loan. Maybe you use a bank or credit union for the loan. But buying a car, you don't do that. You don't get a loan to do that. What is the best course of action? We can technically afford the SUV. No missed payments or anything like that. But our emergency fund is at $3,000. Yeah, so that's bad. That's bad. And you already said you could probably make it work, and so make it work. I would make it work, get the full emergency fund, and then start saving up to buy a different car cash. Oh, we have student loan debt, so you're in step 2, so you actually take the emergency fund down to $1,000, so you've misunderstood the baby steps. That happens a lot as well. Let's see, you can provide that info if need. Mortgage and all of that too. Not sure what you guys need. Yeah, I mean, that really doesn't matter. You might have bought too much house as well. But that doesn't matter as far as selling the vehicle. So the idea is you bought that dumb vehicle, so, and you financed it. So the way to fix that, when you find out that Dave Ramsey, oh, he says we shouldn't go in debt for cars. He says we shouldn't do that. So how you fix that is to sell that. And you get a very cheap car to replace it, not at the dealer. But yeah, might have bought too much house, and so that could be a thing as well. But other than that, you just have $1,000 emergency fund while you are doing step 2. That is how the baby steps work. Dad, what, 187K, husband, student loans, undergrad, and pharmacy school. My goodness gracious me, that's why he's making the money. But he will pay 32K because the rest will hopefully be forgiven. Public loan forgiveness. I would not hold my breath on that. 35K, my loans from undergrad and graduate school. Yep, monthly fixed expenses, 507 plus. We spend about 270 a week in gas, groceries, and other stuff. How many people? Just the 2 of you? That's excessive, so you could work on that as well. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the mortgage information and so forth. But as far as just the car itself, the vehicle itself, you would sell that. This Reddit person makes bad choices, even down the brand of, right, I gotcha. Hyundai equals nope. Yeah, Dr. Baloney Bologna is a well-known troll as well. So I can't see what he's typing, but if he insists on coming here to put money in my pockets, that's great. Thanks so much for that. And I'm happy I don't have to see the dumb bull crap that he writes. Let's see where we. Oh, monthly. Oh, I did read that already. Okay, so sorry about that. Go back and forth between the chat and the question. But yeah, so that's a sell the SUV that will get you much further ahead on your baby steps. And then, as I said, we would look at the budget. We would look to see if you bought too much house, which does happen, and if it's a good idea to sell it. But didn't get that much information on that. Debt-free screen question, Braves Dogs, 97.93. For anyone who has gone to Ramsey and done your debt-free screen, do they just take your word for it? They vet you. I don't know if they necessarily have to have bank statements and all of that stuff, but they do vet you. We're still in baby step 2, so won't be us just yet. But I've just been curious lately about that. Like, are they pulling your credit to ensure you actually have no debt? LOL. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. That would be a question you could call and ask them. If not, that probably wouldn't be a thing I would think that would get on the radio, but you can call the customer care line and ask them about that. Oh. Went down in... How much did it go down, Crumbler? Because there was some good market years in there. See, that's the problem. You don't know if it was bad market years or if you just have sucky investments. So, like, if they're in that target date crap that they put you in, that doesn't make that much money. So there was some good years, some good market years in the Biden presidency. Let's take a look. Let's go S&P, and of course Nasdaq made more, but we'll go with S&P. Let's say the last 5 years. Hey, look at this! Look! From 23 to 25. Hey, look at that! That's a pretty good bump there. So, I mean, in the last 1 year, only 10%, of course, but that's still 9.33, almost 10%, and that's what you're looking for, and that was a down year. Because of, things like politics and such. And so it going down is going to bring that number down, but as you can see, the max is crazy. And of course, the 5 years, you can see the jump. And see, it comes down sometimes, but yeah. So you probably have some sucky investments, sir. So I would check on them. Look at the retirement because you're bored. Yeah, I look at these numbers all the time just for content. So otherwise, I wouldn't look at it a lot. I'm under the understanding that there's going to be ebbs and flows. There are, but still, you gotta know. Like if you look at this and you look at the S&P 500. So if you're talking about between 2023 and 2024, if yours didn't go up at least this much, if you lost money during that time, you are in bad investments, or at least some in bad investments. Maybe not all of them that you're in, but otherwise you're in bad investments. And yeah, and you don't just base it on just 1 year. You would go back and look at the entire track record. But the idea that you make more than the index funds do using managed funds, making less than the index is unacceptable. Trey says, what's being done currently is to try to fix 60 years of bad economic policy that almost seems designed to export wealth from the U.S. to any other country. Understand it, but we invest for the long term. Yeah. So we write out the swings. That's right, Trey. Background, Virginia Beach. Background clock 9626. What exactly is maxing out 401k? I know it's a stupid question, but when people say this, are they referring to maxing out to their company match? No, they're saying maxing out is going all the way up to the amount that is legally allowed for you to put into a 401k per year. And I think I have that. Did I? Yes, I did get that. 2025, the maximum 401k contribution limit is $23,500 for employees under 50, and those 50 and older, old people, catch up. So they can do catch up, additional 7,500. So they can do 3,100. If you're an old over 50, let's see. And for 60 to 63, I did not know this. Catch-up contribution can be 11,250. Excellent. Trying to help out the olds that didn't invest enough to begin with. But yeah, that's what that means. And yeah, a lot of people get that mixed up, as well as a bunch of other things about investing. Spiritual Ninja 3025 investing. I use Charles Schwab to invest my 15%. How/where on the site can I go to see exactly how much I've personally paid into my Roth IRA to date versus what it's worth overall? I don't expect those numbers to be too different as I started investing not long ago, but I want to know where I'd see that info. Baby step 4, flare. So good, not doing it early. But that means where you would see that, it should have basically a summary page, like right on the main thing, or like on the main page, it has it would say like your Roth IRA account. It would say that on there. You click on the Roth IRA account, and then it would show you the individual investments. But then at the bottom, it should be totaled and have what your basis is, meaning your contributions and what the gains are. It should show you right on there. And I don't know Charles Schwab. I picked Fidelity myself, and I just picked them because I just did an image search of their webpage, and I like their interface the best. So there's probably not that much difference between all of them, but I've had no problems with Fidelity. Omal Donato 94 bought first home. 6 years ago, I was over at 30K in credit card debt on a 40K salary. That's not good, is it? I decided to follow the baby steps. Excellent. And over the span, accidental D there, of the years, I became debt-free. My income increased threefold. Bought a car wash, and today closed on my first home. Excellent. Single income, 30 man, no kids. Except my doggy. Wrote expect. I cannot believe this was possible. Thank you, Ramsey team. Okay, that's great. Seem to be doing well financially. Now work on that English. May not be American, so sorry about that. If English is your second language, if it's your second language, you've done great. I cannot do nearly as well in your language, I'm sure. Impumu. Why is everyone shocked when I say I'm debt-free like it's a miracle? Because to them it is. Because they don't think they can do it. Or they're not willing to sacrifice to do it. And so we're the abnormal ones. We're the weird ones. The people that are in debt, they're the normal ones. Every time I tell someone I'm debt-free, they look at me like, oh, I just said that already, like I'm a pay. Like I have just said I have a pet unicorn. Okay, but how? Yeah, well, it's going to be answers they don't want to hear, probably. The gaps, like I just discovered, time travel. Marty, you have to get up to 88 miles per hour, right? Meanwhile, I'm over here like, great Scott. Oh, just following the plan. Yeah, there was a guy and he already figured it out and he's telling me what to do. And that way I don't even have to think about it because this has been proven for 30 years, millions of documented success stories. And so I'm just going to try this because my way wasn't working. Let's see, I guess it's not as glamorous. The glamorous life. Or what is that? GLAMOROUS. How's that go? I don't remember how that song goes. As buying lattes on credit, huh? That's right. Baby steps forever. Hashtag. Baby step 3, flare. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, the normies, they just don't get it. And because they don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to do that. And even some that do, they want to change all the steps and make it more fun for them. And when you do that, that's gonna make you not have as much progress. And then that's when people quit the baby steps because they're not making progress because they're doing it wrong. Does happen. Boo, boo, boo. Alyssa says 30K in credit card debt. See, this is what I just don't understand. People who spend so much, almost as much as they make in a year. It amazes me. Yeah, it's pretty dumb, but that's very average. It's very average. It's also very average to have 30,000 in debt and have 20,000 in savings instead of using that savings to pay off the debt. That's so normal. This is from Timex Dude. Oh, Timex Dude. Must like watches, maybe. Watches. 755. Keep second job for emergency fund. What? There's no such thing as emergency fund. Maybe it means fund. Point blank, once the mortgage is the only debt left, is it advised to keep a second job to build the emergency fund, or can I slow down the gazelle intensity? Baby step 2, flare. Yeah, you're supposed to stay gazelle intense through baby step 3. So once you get baby step 3 done, you can ease up. So I would keep it until you get baby step 3 done and have your full emergency fund. Because, yeah, 1, 2, 3, you do those one at a time without moving on to higher steps. And the reason is so that those get done in that priority order as soon as possible. And then after that, then you get your own step 4, 5, and 6. And your finances are in a much, much better place than they were when you were on baby step 1 or 2. Somebody deleted this. They must have gotten too much heat on the old. They probably have the thing checked to say every time somebody responds to email you or something like that. So they freaked out and deleted. But we can still read it here. Actually, I think only here this longer. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Help getting debt free. Okay. Well, how you get debt free is you do not spend the money on anything else. You pay your debt off with it. Let's see what is going on specifically. How can I get out of debt the fastest? By not spending money on anything else. 24, make $54,000 a year. I have an associate's in engineering science. Okay. I work only as associates. I work as a mechanical drafter. I plan on getting a new job soon as I'm interviewing every other week for $28 plus jobs an hour. Still no offers yet. My student debt's as follows. Okay. That's 5,000, 8,800. 10 over, a little bit over 10,000. Okay, these are federal and one private. Just refinance to 50K. You don't refinance it, you just pay it off. Total about 62K. Okay, total savings are in Marcus savings account Uh, $1,208. Okay. So I mean that's your emergency fund then. Um, Vanguard brokerage. If that is not an emergency, I mean, if that is not a retirement account, you would cash that out immediately and pay off your debt. The IRA, that is, you would leave that because that's penalties on that. You don't have any penalties on the 3712 that's in the Vanguard brokerage account. Checking account at 4,000, that's a no too. Now you got to have enough in your checking account to get you to the next paycheck, but you don't have that big of a buffer there. You have to have enough to pay all your bills before you get your next paycheck. But there's no extra savings. There's no 4,000 here and then another 1,000 in the Marcus savings. That's no. You pick one of them and have $1,000. The rest of it goes to debt. How about that? So that's 3,000 here, or 4,000 actually total, that you can put to debt immediately. Congratulations. So total savings about 10K. Yeah, you wouldn't count the IRA. 4,000. 8,700. Oh, I see. And that, okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, all of it, but you do need to keep $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. So yeah, so you can put 9,000. Yeah, you're right. I was wondering, should I just pay off one of my whole 4.8% loans in full? No, you don't. You do it smallest to largest. Do it the way Mr. Ramsey says to do it, and then you're more likely to get the smaller things paid off first, and that will give you faster wins, and that will mean that most people would stay on the plan, where some people would bounce out, like you bounced out of having that Reddit name there. Let's see. I want to do the Ramsey snowball method to get out of debt fastest. Yes, so you do that then. Just do that, and you don't even need to write this. You didn't have to write this at all. You could just, if that's what you want to do, that's what you should do. I agree. I don't spend money on anything great, like clothes or dumb stuff. I save as much as I can. That's great. If you didn't do the student loans, that'd be fabulous, but you did. So now you got to pay them off. And how you do that is by not having the extra savings. Sid watch financial audit fairly often. Are they still about the same? Are they still going for the craziest people there, Sid? Next question. Any raise 433, help with every dollar. Sid, you're up, Sid. I'm 19 and new to actually trying to take control of my finances. I downloaded every dollar app and have started using it to budget. Maybe this switch places. Yeah, bi-weekly. No, haven't read this one before. There has been a bi-weekly on their question before, though, I think. But it was a while back. My question is, I get paid bi-weekly and having trouble tracking things with the monthly budget. I get roughly on the 1st and 15th of every month. This way it makes most sense to me. And I would like to budget is to have a budget for one paycheck and another for the other. I don't know that you can do that in a spreadsheet for sure. I don't know that you can do that on every dollar or any budgeting app, because that's not the way they're designed. Now, if an app was smart, it might have it might have an option to show you things bi-weekly, but generally, even if you get paid bi-weekly, you get paid roughly, the 1st and 15th on the month but sometimes you're going to have an extra, some months you're going to have an extra paycheck in there. And so you should still be able to do that by the month. Now, why it's so difficult for you, being that you get paid bi-weekly, I don't know. Maybe you're not holding back enough, or you're holding back too much to get to the next paycheck. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to do with the way every dollar is set up. Does anyone have any advice on that? Any idea, Sid? Yeah, there's some nutty people on there, but people are nutty. We knew this already. From Hello Space Girl, might have either this person has posted before, or this is a new question. We'll see. We are on baby step 3. Oh, what makes sense? What makes sense? I don't. Is this like a question? What makes sense of the options that we're gonna give? It's always a crapshoot on the Reddit. You never know. The what would Dave do flare, and you've seen this before too, where they will actually the mods don't put this what would Dave do flare on here. The Reddit doesn't automatically assign it. The person is the one that picks this. And I love the people that do the WWDD, what would Dave do flare? And then they also said, now I know what Dave says. I want to know what other people say. Why would you put what would Dave do on there then? Dumb. We're on baby step 3. That's better than 2 for sure. I finally decided that our income is secure enough. I'm an RN that we would be okay with only a 3-month emergency fund. I never recommend that if you have a mortgage, because you don't get to call your landlord to fix something. You have to do it. On the high end of current monthly expenses, cutting nothing, we are at 7K. So 3 months would be 21K. Cool. We have 14K saved. I just remembered that we have money sitting in a money market account. It's been there since 2021. Oh, hey, you could have used that to pay off debt if you remembered it. And that's the problem with not keeping an eye on your money, because this kind of crap happens. So that's why you want to be intentional with every single dollar you have and not forget it's in a freaking money market account. So you could have been way ahead now, depending on how much money in there. Oh, and as accrued just under 1,800 in gains, so it has about 6K in it. Yeah, you could have been 6K further along the road. Can we count this as our emergency fund if I pull it out and put it with my high yield savings account money? With the money market? Money market and high yield savings account are two different things. Basically the same thing. Generally, high yield savings will make a little bit more though. But yeah, you can just because you have it, you can decide to have a larger emergency fund if you would like, if you would sleep better, and you should have decided to do a 6-month one anyway before you happen to have this money. So I always question this kind of stuff where all of a sudden I've seen it the other way too, where people will have a 6-month emergency fund, and then all of a sudden when they find some investment or something like that to do, then they decide they're fine with just a 3-month at that point. So that's totes sus for me. And so would not recommend. Again, especially with I mean, it's up to you, the 3 to 6 months. That is it, but I would recommend 6 months if you have a mortgage. Should I leave it alone and let it grow and just spend the next several months saving up to the 21K? I'd like to. Why do you have to have it moved the exact same thing? I don't understand. See, this is something that people think about. Well, no matter what I do, I have to get it to match the same amount as the other amount. No, you don't have to do any of that. That's dumb. I'd like to move on to baby step 4 sooner rather than later. Well, you can as soon as you get done with your baby step 3. First, figure out how much you want it to be regardless of you having extra money in savings. I know the 1800 will be subject to taxes come tax time next year. True. And so you can just leave that amount in the high yield savings account. But it will be just like regular income tax. Right. What would Dave tell me? Just wondering about this tonight and need to bounce it off of y'all. Okay. But yeah, that's the basic dealio. You need to decide what you want your emergency fund to be, how many months of expenses you want it to be. And just because you have this extra money all of a sudden and you found it, that should not change how you think about it. It's how you feel about it. And again, if you have a mortgage, I'm recommending a 6-month emergency fund. And that is what makes sense to me. What time did we start? 10 was 27. Okay, so we got some more time. Normally do an hour, and again I'll be doing stream at 4 p.m. and see how that goes. That may garner more views, and so I eventually will only do one, but probably for the rest of the week, unless I change my mind and go down to just one. But I'll probably do one right after the Ramsey show at 10:27 p.m. and then one at 4 p.m. Unique management 1, 2, 3. Bigger snowball versus less accounts. That would be fewer accounts. Hashtag third grade. I've got a lump sum that I saved for a house. Great. I've already used $4,800 of it to pay off debt. Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah, if you have a down payment savings, and then you find the baby steps, and you say, oh, I'm in baby step 2, I'm not near anywhere close enough to buy a house, then you do not keep house savings money. You do not keep down payment money while you have debt. So yeah, you should have paid off that debt, and that paid up $324. My question comes up now because with the remaining sum, I could A, pay off my $4,500 in motorcycle debt. Okay, so what you do here, before we have to do your little A, B, and C, and D, and all that, you take all of it out of there and you apply it to debt. Or however much you need that you have debt. If it can pay off all of it, then you would do that immediately, and there's no need to do an A or B or C or D. Let's see what they are though. Pay out $4,500 motorcycle. And for the insurance, yeah, see, we just don't think, you just pay them off smallest to largest. And you don't have to think about this stuff. See, Mr. Ramsey makes it very easy for you. It's very simple. Blah, 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 blah. Or B, keep going with the smallest to the next. Yeah, you do smallest to largest, but you liquidate that house savings fund. There's no extra savings for down payment while you still are on step 2. That's a no. So, and that, of course, is what Mr. Ramsey would do. What would Dave do? He would tell you to follow the baby steps, and on baby step 2, there's no down payment fund happening. You're doing it wrong. Global One Dahoen? What in the world? Navigating debt, mental illness, and unemployment, underemployment. Yeah, all that's a problem. I don't see anything in there that's not a problem. General question as the head thread. Okay, we call that a title. Then added comment about our personal circumstance regarding the issue. Oh my goodness gracious me. I mean, mental illness, I mean, that's counseling. You have to try to work on that. Debt, you would be working and paying as much as you can. If you can't with your mental illness, that's rough, but that's the case. There's no magic solution for this. And unemployment, underemployment, work more. Get a part-time job in addition to a full-time job if you can't get one full-time job that pays you a lot of money. Let's see, in reference, this is specifically for couples where one is having mental and emotional distress. See below. And, I mean, I get it. This stuff does for sure 100% happen. But then there's also the people that just don't like working somewhere and they call it toxic. And so people do tend to exaggerate. Remember, I'm telling you how nutty people are? That's one thing they do. They exaggerate a lot. So this may be exaggeration, may not be. I don't know. We'll see below shortly. Where the other is not directly impacted by issues of their own that are similar in nature, and one spouse has a very good job. Okay, what about it? I mean, that's a blessing that both people are not suffering from the same things, right? Let's see. But the other is, okay, one spouse has a very good job. The other is a un/under. All right, that's fun. Those are fun to breeze for that. For unemployed, underemployed. And dealing, they went dash employed right there. Okay. And dealing with those mental illnesses I mentioned, which is hashtag mention. What up, Maddie Bags? Shout out. Which is making it very difficult for that spouse to gain and maintain stable employment, let alone 2 to 3 jobs recommended by the Ramsey team. Yeah, if it's actual mental illness, that is rough to try to keep a job, I'm sure. And so you can't do that probably. You would need to talk to the counselor and see what the counselor says about that. Whether the person is capable of keeping a job and is just purposefully getting in their own way. Sabotaging themselves is the word I was looking for. Not today. Not today, dementia. As for the debt, major amounts, I think about a year's worth of salary with answers provided at general levels of income and debt, but essentially a significant amount of credit card debt. Okay. Very flowery language here. It's like, and making it take way longer than it should. Student loans being the second largest category. Okay, see, that's way too many words to say this. Small, reasonable car loan. None of them are. Reasonable meaning it would be wiser to pay off the credit card debt first, at least. That's smallest to largest. So you don't change that just because somebody has mental illness. That does not that's not how that works. The advice does not change. You would still do the baby steps in the way that they're supposed to be done, best of your ability. You might not be able to do it as fast because the income will be lower. Let's see. We really couldn't net much by selling it. Definitely won't be financing our next car, though. You might not net much, but you would not have the car payment anymore. So that would be the reason on that. And a lot of people, and it's reliable though. Yeah, but that car could have just as many problems as a new car that you buy for much cheaper. We don't know about cars. That's why you have a mechanic, check them out. But you don't know your reasonable car loan is going to be more reliable than anything else you could change it to. Let's see. Income and expenses make things very tight. If not negative cash flow, cards all maxed out. Yeah. Mental illnesses here could be something mild like, so you don't even know. ADHD, mild, like severe ADHD, it makes it hard to deal with life changes. Too severe, think depression or schizophrenia, or similar, that make life generally hard to begin with. In essence, what is your general advice here? And then in my reply thread, what's your specific advice? All right, that's too much. That's too much to get into there, to go through all of the history and and getting answers back but you're trying to fix it before you even know what the problem is. You need to get the mental illness, if there actually is one, and if not, it's just somebody being lazy and doesn't want to work. Make sure there is a mental illness and what it actually is. So that would be the general advice. Otherwise, you both work as much as you can and do as much as you can on the baby steps. But yeah, you got to figure out what it is. So you have to see a professional for that, and I am not certified in that, just in Ramsey Solutions advice. Pretty simple. 29, 24. Finally debt free. Excellent. Hey everyone, hi guys. Finally, after years of bad money management, divorce, credit cards, debt, and personal loans, I'm finally debt free at 53 years old. That's an old person for sure. Younger than me still, though. I don't own a home and am now wanting to buy, but terrified of going into any kind of debt. Well, my name is Paul, and that's between y'all. That's up to you if you want to do that or not. If I do purchase, I'm thinking of 30-year mortgage. That's a no. That's a no. See, that's where you think. That's where people start thinking, oh, well, I'm 53. I'm also terrified of going into any kind of debt. So you're terrified of going into any kind of debt, and you want to get a 30-year mortgage that allows you to go into more debt than a 15 would? That's dumb. 53 years old, you need to be smarter than that. And then try to pay it off in 15 years. No, you don't give yourself the cushion. That's no. See, people, they always want this stuff. Well, yeah, well, I'll get the 30K, the 30-year mortgage just in case I need the money for something, just to have buffer, just to make it more easier, but I'll pay it off in 15. Yeah. That's the problem. People, you give people an inch on something, on the rules on something, and then they want to change everything. So that's a no. If you cannot afford the payment on a 15, then you can, and lock yourself into it by getting a 15-year, then you can't afford a house. It's too much. Or you're just terrified of it, then you don't buy that much house or buy a house at all, and you talk to maybe somebody about your mental state on going into mortgage debt. You don't have to. You can rent for life if it terrifies you that much, but none of that is justification station for getting a 30-year mortgage. That's dumb as crap. But all the talk of property taxes for life and homeowners association that constantly increases, I'm scared. Then don't buy a house then. Just rent. What is my next step? I do have 3-month emergency funds and a CD. Don't put it in a CD. It has to be liquid, dog, in case you have an emergency. You can't even have it in a high yield savings account if you don't have a debit card or check writing privileges on that, because emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer. And what if you're the only one that can transfer it and you're in a coma? Okay, how about we have it liquid instead? How about that? But yeah, so just in general dumbness here. And this is the same, people try to justify 30-year mortgages all the time. Oh yeah, we can pay it off in 15, but I like the buffer. Well, then you're doing it wrong. Then you're debt leveraging. You're going into more debt than you need to in order to debt leverage whatever feeling you have. And so, that's a no for Mr. Ramsey. He's a no, for a debt and also for debt leverage. So that's a NAR. He does let you get that 15-year fixed mortgage though. And again, deleted. People getting too many. Stop. If you don't comment, then these people won't get scared off. Selling boo shares to start snowball, and people love to say what their freaking index fund is that makes less than my managed fund. People love to say it. And the V would stand for Vanguard, and so that's Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund. And if that is in a brokerage account, yes, you do not have extra investing or savings past $1,000. Starter emergency fund while you're on baby step 2. That's a NAR, as my pals in Australia say. Boom, boom, boom. Tracer, baby Dave just reminds me of my uncles in the way he doesn't spare feelings over facts. That's right. That's right. Caleb has a whole roast angle going on. Yeah. It's more for him. It's more of a show. He's doing a show. Yeah, he and George have done a few things together, I believe. Let's see. I made a post yesterday on how to get out of debt, and hey, you know what I probably said to that is you do not spend that money on anything else, including buying freaking VU shares in a standard brokerage account. That's not a retirement account. You do not have that. And also, guess what? Even if it was retirement, on step 2, there's no investing. Let's take a look. Make sure I'm right here. Actually, let's look at the day version of it. Let's see, $1,000. Okay. Then step 2, pay off debt. Okay. So I better get that done before I think about having extra savings or investing. How can you think that, oh, well, I need to be doing all this stuff at the same time? That's dumb as crap. But a lot of people do think it. So, and all this here is their justification station of doing stuff their dumb way. And so that's a no. What up, Aslan? Finds Caleb very one dimension. He does get the views though. They seem to vary response to fit the situations of the callers. A lot of similar because a lot of people have the same issue. No, but he changes up the people for the people with a different problem. New lobster 8174. Last debt payment. Last night, last debt payment. I gave you my money. My husband and I made our final payment towards our debt, and I still can't comprehend that it's real. It is, dog. Check your login and see where it says 0. When we got married in 2017, we had 2 car loans equaling around $35K, over $100,000 in student loans, and about $15K in credit cards. It has been a journey. We both come from poor money management families. We have 1 child, and it truly feels like we are breaking the cycle for her. Excellent. That's probably the best reason. If not the best reason, it's as good a reason as any. We want to show her what kind of hard work, discipline, and perseverance looks like. Also, that if you want something, wait and save. It will make it that much more special when you're able to purchase it without debt. At 31 and 33, it feels like the second half of our adult lives is about to begin. It better be more than just the end and the period there. Better be more than that. It's a little bit more than that. In and then comma. And I couldn't be more excited. We're free. Excellent. Congratulations. Alrighty, what do we got coming up for tomorrow? I'll be doing Facebook questions on the 4 p.m. stream that I'm going to try out today. And again, I'm going to try them out at least for a couple of days. I'll give it 2 days on both of them, but I'll be streaming right after the Ramsey show, the new time, 9 a.m. Eastern time for them, 10:27 a.m. for me. And also see what the 4 o'clock is like with people used to having it posted by then. Of course, the mod said he's also going to post tomorrow's show shortly after the today's show ends, and so people could be in there chatting as well. So we'll see. Once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you have money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track and that you're not doing it wrong, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is in the ticker below, also in the video description. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com about coaching or anything financial or anything on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, CashApp at $Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Once again, upcoming streams. This show, The Ramsey Show, Aftershow, 10:27 a.m. and 4 p.m. for at least the next few days. Going to be doing both of those times. It's following the Ramsey Show, again, 9 a.m. to 10:27 p.m. for the Ramsey Show, and then I will start at 10:27 a.m. I can take that down now. I did not know, because Mod didn't say whether they were going to have 3 hours on YouTube or not. Should have known better. Should have known better. So I have to change that on the ticker. 11:09 would have been if it would be all 3 radio hours, but it was not. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Let's see, Randy Dork says 30 year with 401k loan and still needed PMI. Who is that? What? Randy Dork, you're doing it wrong, okay? Also, I love it. I love it when people do this. I had to do the 30-year mortgage. No, you didn't. You chose to. You did not. Nobody made you do that. Personally, I purchased the mortgage first so I could drop PMI. Yeah, so you did it wrong. So it's making it take longer for you to get done with the baby steps. You're doing it wrong. Ambivalent about it, it's making it take longer for you. Yeah. 30 year with a 401k loan and still needed PMI. That means don't buy a house, Randy. That was so dumb. Alrighty. Too much of telling people they're dumb today. I'll wait. I won't do that again until at least probably 4:05 p.m. Eastern time today. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please... what are the things you do? You subscribe, you like it, that's the thumbs up, and comment, and thank you so much if you have done those things before. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day, and that means no 30-year mortgage, and you don't have to do it. I had to do it. No, you chose to do it, and it was a mistake. Bye.